144,000 to stand or not to stand. If you open up to Revelation 6, that chapter talks and says, "And I saw and behold a white horse, and he that sat on it had a bow, and a crown was given to him. And he went forth conquering and to conquer. Then a horse that was red, and then lo, a black horse, and then I beheld a pale horse. There was a great earthquake. The sun became black, as sackcloth even. The moon as blood. The stars of heaven fell to the earth like wind shaking a weak tree. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled up together. And every mountain and island were moved out of its place. And the presidents of the earth, and the famous people, the rich people, and the military commanders, the mighty men hid themselves in the caves and the rocks of the mountains also, and said to the mountains and rocks, Fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sits on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath has come." And here is the big, terrifying question that John the Revelator is begging to be answered. All this is happening. What is it that he's asking? Who will be able to stand? Do you want to know? Would you like to know? Revelation 7, 3 through 4. Open up Revelation 7, 3 and 4, saying, "Don't hurt the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and they were sealed 144,000. In ancient times, the primary meaning of sealing was ownership. I mean, like sealing the classified documents from the king with wax and a stamp. This was his to give and make sure it went to the right place. And if that seal was broken, then something nefarious was happening. But the meaning of the symbolic sealing in the New Testament is that the Lord knows those who are his. And the end time, the seal on the forehead is given to God's faithful people who keep the commandments of God and have the spirit of prophecy. These are the sealed ones. It is not a visible mark put on the forehead where you can see it, but as Ellen writes, it means settling into the truth, both intellectually and spiritually, so they cannot be moved. From the book Last Day Events, she wrote that. They are in contrast, though. These people are in contrast to those who ultimately side with the vast majority who receive the mark of the beast in their hands or in their foreheads. This holy sealing also functioned as a sign to save them from the destructive forces of those 7 last plagues. Who are these special last day people that will be sealed? They're labeled 144,000. What does that mean? Well, in Revelation is a book of symbols, right? So 144,000 is broken up this way. 12 times 12 times 1,000. So answer me this. How many tribes of Israel were there? How many disciples? Right. Now, here's a tough one. How many soldiers of each tribe in the 40 years wilderness were chosen from each tribe to fight the last fight just before entering into the promised land, and not one of them died? How many soldiers of each tribe? 1,000. That's right. And they didn't die. Not one of them died. They took an account after the battle of Midian. You see, 12 distinguishes a group of people who wholly follow God and have a special purpose. The 1,000 makes it a large group that shall see the promised land and not die. Do you want to be a part of that group? Do you remember Enoch? What is he known for? Genesis 5:24. Enoch walked with God for 300 years, and he was not. Why? For God took him. Walk with God. The 144,000 walked so much with the Savior now, so closely as did the disciples, they begin to reflect his image in all that they are. Remember Elijah. What is he known for? Elijah, 100% committed against false sun worshipers and false prophets. So committed to the testimony of truth, he had the spirit of prophecy. Then the chariot of fire from heaven came down and took him. Took him up. Who are these special last day 144,000 people then? Revelation 4:4. Revelation 4:4 describes them to a T. They are not defiled by false sun-worshiping religion. These are the ones who follow the Lamb wherever he goes. These were redeemed from among men, being first fruits to God and to the Lamb. So this is it. They have three bold characteristics. Number one, not defiled with false religion. Number two, they follow the Lamb everywhere he goes, right? Number three, first fruits of God and to the Lamb. In ancient Israel, the first fruits were the best fruits of the harvest offered to God as a tithe. They are completely his without argument. Finally, they are the only ones who never pass through the chambers of death, just like Enoch and Elijah. Would you like to be in this faithful group? Would you like your children or grandchildren to be in this group? Teach them this truth. Teach them a spirit of readiness of mind and of character and of personality. Show them how to love the Lord with all their heart and mind, and not to trust on their own reasoning, but in all their ways acknowledge him first and for all things. Then we may be the ones able to stand. Stand through the horrible times that are soon to come to this yearning planet. Stand for his truth when the heavens do fall, and rise to meet him in the air.